Time has come once again to speak as co-creators in Magic Do. I'm Daniel Dubois,
I'm Michaela Stone.
and we're your guides on your journey into the heart of the primordial. Welcome to, we'll call it a special episode. That's what I'm getting. I was going to
It
call it
is.
Scrooged, maybe, but I'll let you guys title it for yourselves.
We, we weren't going to record this until 15 minutes ago. So
Right,
this is a spontaneous episode, and well, as they all go where they go,
right,
but this is extra specially like it's just out there. So we're on the last day of 2025 right now as we record this, and it's been calling to both of us to do. So here we are.
right. And that's true. I've been sitting here for the last couple of days there going, probably should record something. It's probably something minutes before, the new year. There's probably something. And then, so I'm going to start with that. The reason why I said Scrooged. I think I'll start with that. I had started telling Michaela a story today, and I'm going to finish it here on the podcast, or I'll recap as well. So last night, I had three dreams. Well, I had more than three dreams last night, but these are pertinent. They're connected to each other. Okay. And I am comparing them to what happened to Ebenezer Scrooge in the Christmas Carol. One, because as I had these three dreams, every time I was finished one, I thought it was another day. So I thought these three dreams actually took 3 days until the last one, where I got up and I was like, no, no, it all happened in one night. And then I made some Scrooge references to myself, and so,
And there you are.
right. So the basic premise of these dreams, because the three had us follow the same premise, right? This, if you've ever seen my social media, I've called it a three-act dream, where one follows the other throughout the night. So the whole setup was I was the great ocean's gift giver, or I should say that the ocean had some gifts to give, and I gave the gifts out. I was the Santa Claus to the great ocean's, whatever you want to call it. And so the first dream, they all start the same way. I'm on a beach in a cove after having done my gift giving, and I'm sitting there thinking about how it went. And in this one, it wasn't as involved, but I remember it and I felt really good. I was proud of myself. And then I was collecting myself so I can go and celebrate whatever festival this was part of, you know, with people. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, well, that was pretty interesting. That's cool. And then I went back to sleep. And then I had a second dream, and this was the most intense one. This was one where I'm sitting on the cove reviewing the dream, and I actually have memories of what happened, unlike the other dream. And so, and I remember I have to transform into this giant jellyfish and go into the ocean to give out the gifts. And then the ocean just pushes me wherever it needs me to be. And
Hmm.
so jellyfish can't see, right? So to me, it's like it's just this big darkness, but I can feel everything around me. And as something comes near me, I reach out and I touch it, and that's how it gets a gift. And I just get pushed to wherever the gift needs to be. And it felt really good. And I was
Actually,
really,
that's very cool. I like
yeah.
that.
And I was
Ooh.
very, in my dream, I was very happy. I'm sitting on the beach and I'm very proud of myself and I'm enjoying it. And I think this is awesome. And then I think to myself, wouldn't this be a lot more efficient and a lot better if I was like a shark or a whale or something? Yeah. And then I
Hmm.
take off to go do the festivities and I wake up and it feels like this is another day. Like I've had the first dream, woke up, had a day, dreamt again, second day. I fall back asleep. Now it's the third dream and I'm sitting on the cove and I'm not happy with myself. I'm not proud. I'm just sitting there going, this could have went a lot better, right? Before I go on. I don't remember as many details about this one because it's just the sentiment that was needed. So then I woke up and I
Hmm.
woke up for the day And it was like, oh yeah, this happened in one night. Like it didn't take like I would wake up and think it was a new day, right? But it's like then I remember, no, this is all just one night. You did it all in one night, you're fine. And so I woke up and I'm like, all right. I'm assuming I was not a jellyfish for this night of the festival. I was probably a shark or a whale. And it did not go as well as I thought it would. I still got the task done, but it was not, I did not have that pride. I did not have that joy that I had.
Mm. I get some interesting imagery from this, and if you'd like my interpretation.
Absolutely.
So the jellyfish, I actually felt really happy when I was hearing you about you being a jellyfish because it's the most effortless, natural thing in the world. And you're simply going where you need to be and you're
Mm,
not worrying about where that is. There's no force. There's no, I have to make it this way or it has to look that way. You're just simply being, and that is
right.
exactly what you need to be. So to me, that was a beautiful thing. And absolutely like you did everything you needed to do
Mm,
without effort. And that's key. And then when you woke within the dream,
mm,
you immediately started thinking, I have to try harder. I have to be
right.
more efficient.
Mm,
I need to force the issue because shark, whale, you're
right.
thinking big and forceful,
Right.
basically. And that was not what was required of you. What was required was for you to allow, not force.
Right.
So to me, that was a very clear indication of, hey, when you just let it go, let it be how it's going to be, you have the jellyfish experience, which was relaxing, right?
Yes.
It worked. The
It was,
shark or the whale, whatever you
yeah.
ended up being, took more effort.
Yes.
So much so that you don't remember how it went, but you remember how you felt about how it went.
Right.
So, for my interpretation, this was a very powerful dream and gave you a lot of information
Yeah. Well,
on
that's
perhaps how you need to show up for what
right.
you're doing with your magic.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I kind of equated to the Christmas Carol and Scrooge's thing because what? Well, there was, it felt like 3 days, right? And even and Scrooge ended up going, well, of course they did it one day. They're spirits. They can do whatever they want, right? That whole moment, I
Uh-huh.
kind of had that when I woke up, except I was feeling disappointed from the message of the third dream. But three visitations, three dreams, you know, one is like, you can equate to Christmas past, Christmas present. I think to me in the story, the Christmas present one is pretty much the happiest part of his journey. And it shows him what he didn't have, but then the future scared shit of him because it's like, but if you keep doing what you're doing, this is what it's going to feel like. And I couldn't help but
Mm.
feel that connection in those dreams.
I wonder if you would have had the third dream had you been happy with the second. Like, had you accepted it
Right.
as being enough? And I think this is hugely important. I'm getting downloads here big time.
Mm,
That this is very, very important going into 2026 is, we've spent the last year sort of saying, okay, we've got all this work we've got to do, and
mm,
we got these things, and shit's happening, and boy, is it, and we got to decide where we are, etc., etc. And that energy has been urgent, right? There's been okay, we got to do more, we got to move fast. And what I'm getting from, first of all, your dream and some things that have come through for me recently, in the last couple of days, particularly, is you know what? You're going to get a whole lot further if you allow rather than force. Allow is the word. You've just got to let that
mm,
flow go where it's going to go and take you with it. This doesn't mean you abdicate responsibility for the listener. This is not like, okay, I'll just do whatever comes up. No, no, no. You know where you're going, but how you get there is what you allow.
right. And I'm going to add something
That's,
extra to this.
uh-huh.
So since the last time we recorded, I've been waking up every morning, except for this morning, with like, and I'll kind of remember bits and pieces of dreams, nothing really exciting. But I wake up in the morning of like, wow, that was a very productive night. I did a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff done.
Ha.
And part
So
of me
there's a
was
lot to
like,
sit with.
yeah. And a part of me is like, I'm not conscious of any of the work I'm doing right now.
Uh, But there's a lot to
Yeah.
sit with from these dreams and
Yeah.
how they are directing you. And I get a very strong sense that the jellyfish piece where you are going where you're needed and you're not worried about it because you're
Hmm.
not worried what it looks like because you can't see. You're
Right.
just going. That is the one I would put a pin in, not literally because ouch,
Right.
but
But yes.
that's the one I would say there's something really important here for you to meditate with, to sit with, and maybe to ask questions of,
Mm.
and see what are you going to get back from that? Because the sense I'm getting is that was very strong. That was
Yes.
potent stuff,
Oh, it
and it's
was.
got a lot for you for the next year. So that's really important. And the other thing is that I'm also getting is for not so much for you, but for other people, somebody who's listening or receiving this,
Mm.
it's not necessarily the sexiest looking thing that's the most valuable. Like the shark is all kind of, oh yeah, sleek.
Hmm.
It's got the teeth, it's got the whole thing going on. Whales, they're majestic creatures. Jellyfish, is a jellyfish considered cute in any way? But wow, that's the whole point, right? Is it doesn't have to be. That's a distraction. The
Right.
jellyfish is actually of the three, it's the energy I would choose.
Mm. Well, that's what I mean. Like it was really awesome. Like the second dream really drove the point home of
Mm,
how good it felt, how great it was. And then the second dream was like, oh wow. Like, because I was where I needed to be and I just did what I had to do because things need to happen and I was the one being there for it and allowing it to happen through me, or at least, being part of it.
exactly.
Whereas
Exactly.
when you're a predator, you have to hunt, you have to stalk, you have to actually trap if that's how you do things. Like there's a lot of effort involved in hunting down things.
A lot of
And
effort. There's a lot of force behind it.
yeah,
You can't relax. You can't be. You have to keep doing.
right.
And that's the wrong energy. That's not the energy for this. So there may be times where that's helpful and useful, but this isn't it. That's what I get for you on that one. But boy, I felt a physical difference when you were talking about the jellyfish. It was
Hmm.
like, oh, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Like
and that's how it
that
felt.
felt really good.
That
So
was
then the
exactly
shark
it.
was like, "Aw."
Yeah, it was incredibly disappointing. Like I woke up and I'm like, "Ah, you're such an idiot." Well, that's the kind word I use. I was actually a bit more aggressive with myself in my wording. I was like, "Why did you not stay with the jellyfish? You know it was awesome to beat the jellyfish."
Yeah, so actually there's something for you to sit with and investigate is what were you thinking and feeling you needed to do that you weren't already doing? Because it
Right.
sounded complete. You were getting
Oh,
everything done the way it needed to happen.
I was gonna say, yeah, I know. A part of me keeps hanging on to the notion I have to be more proactive.
Aha. So maybe a big part of your journey in 2026
Mm.
is to let go of the proactive, the energy of it, the force of it, and go with the allowing,
Right.
because maybe you'll get further faster if you stop pushing.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, because going back on the fact that I had mentioned, right, your magic should be connected to what you do. And I had said, I'm doing heraldry magic right now. Well, the herald's job, although it has some aspects of smoothing things over, I'm not actually the person that people are coming to see. There's a whole thing. I'm just announcing it and I'm just kind of preparing the way, but I'm not the actual person that's being seen. I'm not the one doing the whole thing, right? I'm just preparing the way. And so, yeah, if I try to overstep the bounds, right, of trying to be the thing
Uh-huh.
rather
It's
than
so
preparing the
funny.
way for it. Yeah.
I started to smile because the image I got, I
Mm.
do get a lot of very visual images rather than words. And the image I got as you were saying that was the flower girl at a wedding.
Right.
That was, you're the one putting the
Yes.
petals out there, you're the flower girl. That was
Yeah.
some of the images I get really crack me up.
Well, no,
That
but
was
that's
one of
good,
them.
right? The wedding's not about me. It's about Right.
You're in front. You're
Yeah, I'm in
leading the
front.
way.
Yeah.
People are paying attention. However, you're literally setting the stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the image I got. It was great. It
Yeah.
was
And it
all
works.
peach and cream and
Yeah. And it absolutely works. But that's
oh, that's funny.
that was my whole story about that, about being Scrooge, because the dreams had the same thing. It taught a lesson. It gave me different perspectives on it. And now I
And
get
I
it.
think when the dream leaves you with the feeling, you wake up and
Mhm.
you have that emotion, that sense of how that went. That I think is one of the most powerful ways to learn what the dream was telling you because you feel it
Yes.
and you can sit with that and not overanalyze. It's more what comes to you. And the more the listener practices doing things like that, the easier it becomes. Like
Right.
channeling. The more you allow the channeling to happen, the more the channeling happens. And it becomes quite, oh, okay, the word is seductive. It becomes
Mhm.
seductive because it's just like, oh, I don't have to stress or worry over this. I'm just gonna wait
Right.
for what comes. And the trick is to not actively wait, but
Right.
just trust that it's
Be
coming.
available, but yeah.
Trust that it's coming. It'll come. It'll
Yeah.
come.
I was thinking about something there. Now it's gone. Oh well. I think it's gone. It's gone. I don't even remember what the connections were to it. No, well.
Well, it'll come back if it needs to.
Right. If it needs to, it'll come back. So yeah. So that was my big revelation for next year. Because Michaela and I were discussing it. If you sense anything weird, you know, on New Year's Day or whatever, just let me know,
Uh-huh.
right? Vice versa. And so that was my big one. I got Scrooged or whatever, Christmas Carol, however.
Yeah, and I got thrown into a loop again. I'm sick and tired of this
Mm,
fucking loop, let me tell you. But I recognize it and I'm back in it again. And it's to do with my work life,
right.
right? Been there before. I'm there again. The people, I don't want to say too much lest I get into trouble, but let's just say things are changing, not within my control. And I am once again in a position that I look at and say, that was not what I had planned. That's not conducive to what I was thinking. And so I'm really conscious of it and I'm sitting with, okay, there is something here I'm missing, and it drives me nuts because I do this for other people quite easily.
Mm,
I can see the behavior loop and I can see where to break it. There's always a weak link that you can go in and just sever that, and you're done. You don't have to do the loop anymore. Load if I can find my own link, but I'm really going to work on it because I don't want to keep doing this. It's tiring.
mm,
So that's just something that came up literally yesterday. The whole day was spent doing things differently to how I'd anticipated. Um, and so different things come up for me from that. And a lot of it is okay, so what's my action moving forward? How do I change the trajectory of this so that it doesn't go where it usually goes? And that's the whole thing of breaking a loop. So
mm.
I'll have to keep you posted on how that goes because I don't have the answers yet. I only just got the question yesterday. Um, but I recognized it pretty much immediately as, oh, here we go again. I've done this so many times. And here we go again. And I can also tell it's a loop because I didn't consciously choose it, it chose
Mm,
me. So there's something here I need to learn and take action with that I've been missing. So that's a big thing. And as I discover it, I will let the listeners of the podcast know what it was because maybe you recognize something that's going on for yourself. Um, that often happens. And
right.
with that in mind, I was going to save it to the
Yes.
end because that's what I was told, and now I'm told differently. So at this point, I'm going to read an oracle card that I chose in the middle of all this upheaval going on
Mm.
yesterday. And it's from a deck called the Rooted Woman Oracle. And it's very cool. It's cooler than I anticipated, even though I bought it sealed. And the card I chose was the Wasteland. So let me read it to you. The wasteland is the place where dreams go to die. It's an arid, rootless place, and its ground is infertile. In it, we're cut off from the source of life. We inhabit the wasteland when we occupy ourselves with jobs that bring safety and security, but don't bring us meaning or joy. The wasteland is the place where we've allowed ourselves to become what we were never meant to be, where instead of following our own instincts, we'll spend most of our lives trying to make other people happy, squeezing ourselves into glass slippers that were made for them, not us, and living with our heads rather than our hearts. The wasteland kills all that's alive and vibrant inside us. Living in the wasteland means that we're out of touch with the seasons and the cycles of the year and with the natural world to which we've forgotten we belong. And when we have our relationship with the land and the other than humans who inhabit it alongside us, then in the deepest sense, we love ourselves too. Our exhaustion is bone deep, and we come to believe that we're alone. This card invites you to discern all the ways in which you might still have one foot in the wasteland today. How can you escape it? What needs to change in your life?
Mm.
And that I chose in the middle of all of the upheaval, and I was like, wow, okay, that's unnerving.
You know, a big theme, two things came to me while you were reading. One, which one do they want first? Okay, so first one, I turned a key for someone. A key presented itself and I turned it. So if that person recognizes it, if they're actually listening to this episode and you recognize it, the key has been turned for you. A new opportunity or whatever has arisen. Uh, but the second one is, and we've been touching on it because we've been feeling it. Understanding to let go of control, but using it as a mechanism of control. In other words, not understanding letting go, saying you're letting go, you
Hmm.
know, but not really letting go.
Well, there's layers to that, right?
Yes. Well, and I'll
As
use
with
me as an
everything, there's
example.
layers.
Yeah. I'll use my thing as an example, right? Because I keep letting go. I keep letting go all the time. But I don't let go, but I don't truly let go. Like when an experience comes, I experience it. I'm okay, give me what you need to do the experience, I'm there. But I still, as much as I'm letting go, I don't let go.
Hmm.
Hence why I had this dream to really drive home the point of letting go. Because like I'm willing to do the stuff and I accept the stuff, but I don't let go of my control.
Yeah, it's not ticking the box for what's going on for me right
Hmm.
now.
Okay.
I'm getting that it's discordant. Um, it's right there. Whatever it is right there. I
Yeah.
just haven't looked at it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Um, and it might be that that is the accurate thing, and I'm not at that step yet. I don't know. But it's an interesting
Mm.
thought. And that card, I think, is important as we enter 2026 for anybody listening. You know, where do you still have one foot in the wasteland? Where are you still allowing your dreams to die because you don't believe you're worthy of them, or because you have been told you can't, or you're afraid of what the outcome might be? Now is a really great time to pull your foot out of the wasteland and see what's possible. And how
Right.
you do that depends. Go
So
for
this is
it.
what I'm getting. So there's a bunch of flows happening. Okay. These are leading to different people. And so my statement jumped on that flow and went into that flow. And what's the other one? This kind of ties in with what you're saying, sort of, I think. So letting go doesn't mean being a victim. It doesn't mean letting that bad things have to happen to you. Because a lot of times when we think letting go, we think losing. We think getting rid of everything that we hold dear.
That's such a good point. Somebody needed to hear that because, yeah, letting go is it's a freedom. I'm working with someone at the moment who's got a lot of trauma that they hang on to. They hang on to the stories because if you see the other person's perspective, then you're saying it wasn't that bad. And
Right.
that's not true. You're not losing anything. You're not saying it wasn't significant or it wasn't real. Of course it is, but you're not holding the hot coal anymore. You
Right.
just give it back to them. Like that was also their experience. You happen to be in the way. And it's a concept that once you can grasp it, there's a letting go that happens that's just it's a beautiful thing because you have so much more energy left.
Right. So in case you're wondering, you guys can't see it, but Michaela might be seeing me. Um,
Yeah.
I'm like holding on to like a bunch of different flows right now, like through gestures. Like my hands are up and I'm kind of holding on to a bunch of flows because something needs to go through here. And it has to do with kind of like I was saying, right? There's a willingness to give up to something, like give yourself up to something, but not truly understanding. Like it's not internalized yet. That aha
Mm.
moment hasn't hit.
Right. And there is a gulf of difference between intellectual
Right.
understanding of something and knowing it, feeling it,
Right.
understanding it where it clicks into place in your body.
Right.
That's a whole different thing. Daniel's
So
very busy, by the way, for people that
yeah,
can't see.
technically I'm doing a spell. This flow needs to be guided right now. All these individual
Yeah, I can
flows.
imagine so. I can imagine so.
So yeah, we can continue with the episode. I'm just going to be sitting here in this weird position for a few more
Okay.
minutes anyways. So yeah, so there's the let yourself have that aha moment. Don't go looking for it. Don't hunt it down. Let it show up when it needs to be where it is. Because sometimes, you just need that moment to happen.
Yep. Buddhism comes up for me again, as it often does. I appreciate the fact that Buddhism is woven into what I work with. And it's, I mentioned it before, but it warrants mentioning again. The non-attachment means not only are you not attached to what the outcome looks like, but you're not attached to there being an outcome. Gonna have to sit with that one a little bit, but it literally means not only are you saying, oh, well, it'll be whatever it will be, but you let go a further layer
Right.
where you're just letting it. And whether there's an outcome that you witness or not isn't the point. It's a bit like the jellyfish that goes wherever it needs to go. The jellyfish wasn't following up on, did that do
Right.
anything? Did that land? Did things go where they were supposed to go? What were they? None of these questions were asked. It was simply, oh, here I am doing a thing. And there was nothing further that needed to be asked.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? It's myself specifically and well, the whole first wave. You're the avatar of what's happening. You're not the originator. You're the one set in place. You're setting things. You're the physical manifestation of what needs to happen. And so anything you do that fights yourself, you're fighting that from manifesting. You're basically the thing. You just have to be who you are.
Alignment and congruity. Those are
Right.
the two words that need to take place. Because when you are congruent with who you're meant to be, who you're here to be, what you're here to do, then the energy flows. There's no blocks. Then you can simply live your life very happily and effectively, whatever that looks like. But if you're out of congruency, then things don't work right. You've put a block in that flow. Um, a very wise person said to me recently, it's you're often told in business, for example, you've got to
Mm.
have this high vibration, you got to be high vibe man and love and peace and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. But nobody can realistically do that. It's the same as when somebody tells you meditation means not thinking. Bullspit. If you're not thinking, you're dead because you're thinking all the time. That's what your mind is here to do. So it's it's not stopping yourself from something. It's where you go with what you are. So this
Right.
wise person that I'm talking about said, have you noticed the way sometimes a person can be a complete asshole? And so long as they're congruent with it,
Hmm.
things work well for them. Not
Yes.
everybody is high vibe that gets success, right? You have some very successful people who are complete jerks, but they are congruent with it.
Right.
There's something important there to understand, which is not only do you not need to be different to how your nature is, you need to be with your nature. You need to
Right.
be congruent with it, in alignment with it, because that's literally how you work. And if you don't allow it, you can't do it.
Right. So I can't think of a finer way to point for 2025, the goal of 2025, be congruent with who you
2026.
are. Well, I mean, because we're finishing 2025 and our whole
Right.
message over and over, right?
Yep.
Know yourself, be
Yeah.
yourself, act for yeah, show up for yourself, love yourself, all that.
But I think one detail we had been missing was, even if you're a bit of a jerk, even if you're an
Yeah,
asshole, how can you work with that? How can you be congruent with that? Maybe it's necessary somewhere.
right.
Sometimes people need to be the
Yeah,
antagonist, right? They
yeah.
need to tip things up and break stuff in order to allow the new in. So is that your role?
Well, that's the thing, right? Because that's actually something I've been contemplating for the last few days as well. Like, what were we doing? Like, I've mentioned it in a video that I did that there's no morality attached to spirituality. You do you, and that's how you connect to the spirit world. There's no, I have to, pray 12 times a day, or I have to, give $1,000 a day to an orphanage. There's nothing like that. It's just you have to connect to who you are. That's how you get spiritual. So there's no, like I say, there's no morality attached to it. There's no, you have to meet these precepts to be spiritual.
It's another rule book.
Right. So I did put that in. So, because I want people like, because people always like, that's why people fall back into religion because they think spirituality has to have some kind of morality attached to it. And it's like, it doesn't. It's just
And
a
nor does
thing
it
like
not.
anything else.
Nor does it not.
Right.
Spirituality is amoral, meaning it doesn't have or not have morals. It simply is.
Right.
It's not important. Morals are a human rule book that help guide your decisions on that was right, that was wrong. And as we can see, people's morals have they're not muddied, man, they're disintegrated. They are ash in so many places. And those who haven't had their morals turned to ash are judging those who have. And again, you're
Right.
wasting your energy. Like it's there's a bigger picture behind that morality or lack thereof that you're seeing in the world today. There's a much bigger picture, and it's so important to see, okay, what does the behavior that comes from this disintegrated morality, what is that showing us? What does that mean?
Right.
Not from a judgy, like that's bad. We know that. Doesn't take a PhD to figure that out. So that's not important to focus on. Question is, Why did that come up? Why is that a thing? Why is it front and center right now? Why are we looking at this? Because it means something. Just like my behavior loop. Why am I here again? Why am I in this
Hmm.
goddamn loop that keeps plaguing me? And it's because there's something there I haven't seen yet. And as soon as I do, it'll go
Right.
away. I can't say world events will be the same, but when we see them differently, when we see beyond the events themselves to what they represent, then we have more clarity on what we're looking at. And you can do that for yourself as well as for, external things, world events and so on. What
Right.
what is the clarity? Like, why do I do this thing that keeps me stuck? Or why do I do this thing that annoys the person I don't want to annoy? Or whatever it is, there's a thing that you do that's stuck.
Right.
What's beyond that? Step out of that and what's beyond it?
Yeah, it's funny. That's a very important 2025. This is how I'm getting the wording, is begging you to shed the old stories. Like it's begging you. Like
Mhm.
even for me, for the last month, right? I'm thinking like, okay, well, part of me, okay, we're working with the Dark Mothers, like I've had some dark dragons hanging out, I've had shadow creatures, I've had like all the things that people would normally, if they were in a religion, would consider evil, just showing up. And I'm thinking like, and I can feel like, I'm like, yeah, I feel like the destruction has to happen, right? Things have to break down before you can rebuild them. And I'm feeling it and I'm feeling that call. And part of me is like, don't tell me I got to be a destroyer going into next year, right? But that vibe, because I'm associating it with things I've seen in movies, right? When I think of a vampire, I think of a werewolf, I think of a demon. I always think of letting your primordial self out, right? Letting it go uninhibited. And then I thought to myself, wait, hold on, that's key, right? Primordial. We're going into the heart of the primordial here. And this thing I keep thinking of as a shadow quality. No, no, it's not. It's only a shadow in that it's kept hidden, but not that there's any, again, moral connotation to it. And what I'm really tapping into, that vibe I'm picking up, is the primordial. And that's really what's trying to lock me in, is the primordial, not this whole, oh, it's a shadow thing. No, no, it's a primordial thing. It's the what you need to be part of life.
Mhm.
So
Shadow work is
yeah.
key, and it's something we all ought. It's not a word I
Mm,
use very often,
right.
but it's something we all need to do because that's where the learning is. The love and light type work that
Mm,
so many people will gravitate to because, oh, I'm a good witch. What the hell is
mm,
one of those? But what does that mean? But oh, I only do white magic and I do, and right away, this person is
mm,
they've spent too much time in a Whole Foods store and
mm.
they're not aware of what they're talking about yet. They could be, but they're not yet. And no, none of that warm, fluffy stuff is potent. It's not, it's not where the learning is. The shadow work is where you get your gold because it's the stuff that you don't want to look at. It's the stuff that's so present, but you don't want to open that treasure chest because you're afraid of what's in it. But that's what we're here to do. And that's one path, probably the most significant path, but I couldn't swear to it. Um, it's a path to the primordial. It's a path to where we need to go. And
Right.
you can't ignore your shadow work. It just grows, it gets bigger. It's not going to go
Mm,
away. You can't cut it off or pretend it's not there. There's no amount of catechism or whatever else is going to
mm,
get rid of it because it's important. It's not going to go away. You can't wish it away. You have to work with it.
mm. I got like a whole bunch of keys to turn. So while we
Mhm.
were doing this, right? So I did a spell while Kyla was talking and me a little bit, lining people's flows. That was part of what I was doing. And as much as I already did one key, now I've got a few more to do. And I say a few
Mhm.
more. You know what? I'm going to do them while I'm talking. So one, two. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I already did the first one, so that's 12. 12 flows, 12 keys.
Hmm. Let's see what shifts.
Yeah. So there was stuff to do today.
Uh-huh.
There was magic to be done. There were flows to open up. There were things to release. There were reminders to be made.
Yes. And wastelands to be not avoided, but recognized and then worked with so that you can pull that remaining foot out of the wasteland and step into what's possible that you choose.
Right. This one is coming in so strong right now. Okay. Can't see the wind up for this. I'm winding up. I'm prepping. I'm building forces up here. Okay. This is going to be vulgar. So that's just how it is.
Oh no, I'm shocked.
Michaela will see it. Maybe I'll post a clip of it. I don't know. Or a picture of it. Get rid of your fucking stories. Get rid of the fucking stories that are holding you back. This is the passion with which the spirit world wants you to really look at it. 2025,
Yeah.
by the end of tonight, be prepared and open for a new story. Doesn't matter. Part of thrown in there is like, because we spoke about spirituality as no morality. Yes. Let yourself see what happens to you if that goes away. All the moralities you've been clinging to, all these modes of, oh, I have to be love and light. Oh, I have to be this resplendent being of light floating around and choirs of angels and stuff. The new year's not starting like that. And you're not going to be helpful if you are.
Right. Yeah. And something that's been coming up all the time we've been talking, and I've been
Mm,
pushing it back, even as
right.
I'm telling you not to push things back. So, okay, I'll follow my own advice here.
Mm,
What I've been getting very strongly is
mm,
shed your attachment to relationships. And what I want to explain with that is it doesn't
mm,
mean walk away from any relationship you're in. What it means is, at least what I'm getting it means,
mm,
is shed attachment to the way that relationship works. So, for example, if over the holidays, if you've had family gatherings where you hear the familiar conversation coming up, oh, here we go, I know exactly how this is going to run, and these two people are going to end up in an argument. Or, all right, this one's going to get mad now because such and such happened. You can predict in those environments how it's going to go. That is a script. That's absolutely something that you can break. It's an attachment. You are seeing an attachment in action where my role is to say these things, and then that person is going to respond in
mm,
this way, and then I'm going to say, and you've had the entire conversation in your head before you even see that person. You've even pictured it and possibly smelled what the food smells like. You've gone there. As far as your brain's concerned, you've already done it. So much as you might not like it, you are attached to it. You're
mm.
attached to that relationship in that way, in it presenting in that way.
Right.
And wouldn't it be great to shed attachment in that moment and not have it need to be playing out the way you anticipate, but maybe changing the loop,
Mm. Try
change
this
the
wording.
script?
So, by relationship, the meaning is how you relate to someone, the literal interpretation of relating. So, drop that relationship and relate in a new way.
Yeah, could be. I just literally gave to you the
Mm.
words that were coming up for me, and it was shed
Well,
your
I find
attachment to
sometimes,
relationships, but
yeah, I
but
find
it needed
sometimes
an
that,
explanation.
right, some of the words are very literal, like not
Hmm.
just what we think they mean, like in the common parlance, but sometimes the words are very, very literal. And in this case, because as you were talking, it's like, yeah, it's not the relationship, but it's how you relate in the first place. Not that there's a
Right.
relationship, but how the relationship functions. So the relationship in the relationship.
Right. It's the function of the
Right.
relationship, how you expect it to work when it's not functional, when it's
Right.
not helpful. So, how many people get stressed out over the holidays, for example, either because they have family to see or because they don't? Well, there's an attachment there that you don't need to be stuck with. It doesn't have to happen that way. So that's an example because we're at that time of year, right?
Right.
And where people, all these stories come up about what this means and that means. Those are all attachments. Getting rid of the attachment is what I've been getting it the entire episode.
Mm.
So I thought I'd better say it before I get slapped up the head.
Yeah. They do happen.
Uh-huh.
All right. I think all you all know what this time is. We've said what we need to say. We've shared what we need to share. The magic that needs to be happen happened. So once again, Happy New Year. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side with your new stories and new ways of relating. So,
May 2026 be eye-opening and kind where you need it to be.
right. And for those of you who didn't sense it, that was a great handoff because my brain was like, okay, there's got to be a blessing of some kind. So, again, I'm Daniel Dubois.
I'm Michaela Gaffinstone.
And get ready for an awesome, exciting new year.
See you on the flip side.